Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show. We're on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. By the way, we're really close to 200, so thank you for that. Look, the other day, this company called UAV, it's United Atlantic Ventures, pulled out somewhere between, and there's a lot of discrepancy, between 7 million to all 11 million shares that it owned in its DJT stock. And remember, the DJT stock is what owns the company of Untruth Social. All right. That UAV company is two individuals, Andy Litinsky and Wes Moss. Both of these guys were not only the co-owners of this company, but they were former contestants of The Apprentice. All right. There's so much here to talk about. So much to talk about. Let me show you this clip.
Andy, you're just being pounded on. You're being out-debated. I just don't want somebody running one of my companies that's going to get beaten up so badly, you're fired. And I just have to do this. I have no choice. Wes, you're fired also.
So look, I know Andy Litinsky. Wes, I don't know at all. In fact, I've spent quite a bit of time with Andy Litinsky, a very bright guy. The funniest thing is that right after the Apprentice series, after it all sort of started to come to an end, Andy Litinsky approached Trump. And he approached him with the concept of creating a company called Trump Productions. And the goal of Trump Productions was to create and to get involved in the business of reality television on its own, outside of the Mark Burnett's of the world. And Litinsky then moved to LA, where he certainly used the Trump name in order to ingratiate himself into, offices and conversations of people, like Les Moonves, as an example. In fact, one time while I was on the islands for vacation, I saw Les, and he came over to me and said, "You got to do me a favor." I said, "Sure, Les, what's that?" And he says to me, "You got to reach out to Donald, and you got to tell Donald that this guy Litinsky, Andrew Litinsky, he calls my office once a week pitching stuff saying, Donald wants me to call you, Donald wants me." He actually worked for Trump. In fact, after all of this happened and very little got accomplished on that, Trump ended up firing him yet again and actually installed myself and another colleague from the Trump organization as co-presidents of Trump Production. That company went it did very little, if almost nothing. All right. Though nevertheless, let me not take it away from Andy, really bright kid. Actually, I think he's from my hometown as well, though much younger than me. So these two guys come up with this concept of this DJT stock, doing a reverse merger into a SPAC. And then they end up creating this Untruth Social platform. You got to give the guys a lot of credit. But here's the crazy thing. Trump has zero respect for Andy Litinsky. He really does. As much as now more money has been made for Trump, or at least on paper, in this stock than Trump actually had, just with all of his real estate investments his entire life. One of the things that they did is they ended up in a fight not too long ago. And the fight was that Trump didn't like the fact that they had like 11 million shares. And they wanted Wes and Litinsky to give some of that stock to Melania. Why? I don't know. Trump has what? 100+ million shares of this? Suffice it to say, on the very first opportunity available, and that was September 19th. And September 19th is an important day because based upon the SEC rules and regulations, there was a lockup period, a lockup agreement that barred any of the insider shareholders, which is what they all are. It barred them from selling. And again, that agreement, that lockup agreement expired on September 19th. So what do? The first opportunity that they get, they dump the stock. They dump the stock not because they think this is a stock that's going up. This is a stock that is on a death spiral. All right. In fact, they did it because they know that the second that Trump starts to sell any of his shares, that's going to be the end of this company. So these two guys, Litinsky and Moore, drop somewhere between 7 to all 11 million shares. Now, according to CNBC, they retained ownership of 100 shares in Trump Media. So they dumped their 11 million combined shares. They keep 100 million shares, and they pocket for themselves somewhere between 128 to 170 million dollars. I want you to think about that for a quick second, because who do you think are the big losers here? Right? The big losers are all of the Trump followers that bought into this worthless media company. And it's important to note that this company takes in like $4 million a year in revenue, but they're spending close to $400 million a year. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that company has little life left. But what really makes it, because, we've seen other companies that have massive losses, but then they keep going, they keep going, they keep going. For example, Uber, right? Uber lost billions and billions. Amazon lost billions of dollars before it started to become profitable. Here's the difference. Those companies are growing each and every day. If you're an Amazon subscriber, right? Then they came out with Amazon Prime, and they came out with a whole slew of options. Amazon Books, Amazon this, Uber then went ahead and they started coming out with things like Uber Eats. They started growing, and then they started moving to different locations, building up their vast number of drivers in their transportation app. Here with Truth Social, there were no new followers. There were no new subscribers. There are no new advertisers. So what ends up happening? You just keep burning cash that you don't have. In fact, there's been lots of reports, and I don't know the veracity of these reports, but there was allegedly an influx of like $10 million by some foreign entity. Some people think that it was Russian, in order to have some influence over this company. Let me be very clear again. This is not a stock that one would consider to be blue chip. This is not a stock that you're going to see like a Google, a Nvidia. You're not going to see like an Amazon or a Meta. This isn't even anything like Trump's buddy Elon Musk's platform X, formerly Twitter, where every single day more and more people come onto that platform, that they have a massive advertising revenue, influx. This one is the exact opposite in every state. This is as stupid, seriously, of a platform as Donald Trump's new watch, the $100,000 Trump watch. It is a scam. Litinsky and Moss took advantage of it, plain and simple, after taxes and after everything, right? Because obviously he's going to have short-term capital gain on this type of stock. These guys banked real serious money. And the only loser out there are the American people, the MAGAs that follow and believe in this false prophet, this orange Jesus, Donald J. Trump. And it's why I will end this episode as I do all. This is what they're all about. It's one grift after another. If it's not Donald grifting, it's Melania grifting. If it's not Melania, it's Don Jr., it's Ivanka, it's Jared, it's Eric, it's Lara Trump, it's Andy Litinsky, it's Westmoreland. It's anybody that is affiliated and attached to him. It is a gigantic grift. And it's why I will again end this episode by saying what I say each and every time. This is not what we deserve in the White House. This is not what we want in the White House. That's why I'm telling you, make sure to vote Harris Walz 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.